Welcome to Focal Point News, your source for campus news, breaking headlines, and in-depth stories that matter. Coming up on Focal Point.
It's one of the most exciting times of the year in Grand Ledge, Michigan. We're going to show you all that goes into the Night Lights Parade, as well as what goes into getting Santa's sled ready, which will be heading down Bridge Street.
Find out how the MSU Horticulture Gardens are getting into the Christmas spirit with poinsettias.
Find out the drink of choice that some are switching to this holiday season. Next on Focal Point.
From the heart of Michigan State University, Focal Point starts right now.
Good evening. Today is December 6, 2024, and welcome to our last program of Focal Point News this semester. I'm Karina Prieto.
And I'm Ethan Hunter. On this week's edition of Focal Point, the MSU Museum is closed, or is it? We'll show you where the exhibits went, and it may be gray and cold, but we'll show you where it's 80 degrees on campus. But tonight, we start with the holidays.
Grand Ledge, Michigan is a small town just west of Lansing, but they have a rich history.
Yeah, established in 1893, the city is home to numerous trails along the sandstone ledges that give the town its name.
And this time of year, it's also where you'll find an annual parade that has a decades-long tradition.
Focal Point's Yusuf Anaya is live in downtown Grand Ledge to tell us all about it and what we can expect tonight. Yusuf, how you doing out there? You look a little cold.
Yeah, Ethan, Karina, thank you guys. I'm here outside the Grand Ledge Fire Department, which is where the parade will be starting at 7. I wish you guys could join me out here in the elements, but I know you're busy back there in the studio, so I will keep you covered on what's going on over here. Over there at the Bridge Street Plaza down the street, they're holding a handful of events. The Xavier DeGroat Foundation for Autism is holding a fundraising event that they will be grilling and having other events over there, as well as a fire pit, which I'll be heading immediately over to once this is concluded to warm up, as well as a mailing center where they're accepting letters that will be going over to Santa Claus, which, you know, a little birdie came and told me he might be here tonight, so stay tuned to find out more about that. But just so many awesome parts, so many moving parts, and so many awesome people involved in this. Over 1,500 people. And one person that really needs to be highlighted is the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce here in Grand Ledge. She's done an awesome job. Emmy, she's done a really great job. She hosted us out here in the morning. She showed us around, and she was a great host. So here's her story.
Because I have so much to do, and I don't have time for a hurt foot.
It's gonna take a lot more than a twisted ankle to stop the Night Lights Parade from taking over Bridge Street for the 52nd year.
And it's just a huge gathering of groups, businesses, families, churches, the school system, even the city gets involved. Everybody just comes together to kind of celebrate the season.
Emmy is the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Grand Ledge, a small town in Michigan that looks straight out of a Hallmark movie.
It has the downtown feel, it has that streetscape that people talk about.
But today, she wears a different hat.
I think there's a Santa hat.
She organizes the town's biggest night.
Everyone's happy.
Except your foot.
Except my foot.
They call it Night Lights Christmas Parade, and that's something she's very good at.
Oh, look! That's the whole Christmas tree.
Emmy isn't the only one excited about tonight. Just a block away at the Grand Ledge Fire Department, decorations are out and excitement is high for what should be a great night. I'm standing next to ladder 616, which will be doubling as an impromptu sled for none other than Santa Claus, who'll be heading down Bridge Street for the parade tonight.
Yeah, somehow I'm gonna make this work.
Pam Redmond of Pam's Pantry is making sure her chocolate is hot for everybody tonight.
We want to give back to the community by doing the hot chocolate.
This day means a lot for Pam.
I've lived here all my life, so 60 years, I'll date myself.
The last 7 being spent here at her store.
The day that we opened was the Friday of the holiday parade that year.
And it means a lot for almost everybody here.
It'll just be, you know, amazing.
A nightlight spectacular.
It's a great time for families.
And Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You know, one thing to keep in mind while you're out here in downtown Grand Blanc is to know which streets are open. Here's a look at the parade route that will be going through downtown. Just so many awesome events. The parade starting at 7, like I said. So Ethan, Karina, if you guys finish up, you still have time to join me. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Yusuf. Be sure to stay warm out there.
Yeah, and for more information on the festivities, check out the Grand Ledge Chamber of Commerce website.
Everybody knows that the day before Thanksgiving is the busiest bar night of the year, but the gatherings and celebrations don't stop there. Focal Point's Bobby Cushing talked to recovery centers around the greater Lansing area about why the holidays are hard for people in recovery.
This is either the end of the road for me or I'm going to go to rehab, and I decided that rehab would be a good first step.
Hunter Taylor asked himself that question. Is it the end of the road or is it rehab?
If I was there at these family events, it was so distant. You know, I was like the person everybody knew in the family was not doing well, so it was not a good experience if I was there.
Hunter started using meth before he was even 17 years old, which meant a lot of holidays away from the family.
Is that sometimes seeing your family can be a trigger. Sometimes not seeing your family can be a trigger. Sometimes it's okay as long as my second cousin's not there.
For a lot of us, the holidays bring travel and family time. Now for some, that means cocktails and spirits with the family. But some are pushing away the alcohol for another drink.
Versus if you're an alcoholic and you go to a bar and you used to really like dive bars and now you're back in a dive bar environment. So really it's those things that are familiar to you.
There are more than 600,000 Michiganders in recovery, and with the holiday season in full swing, bars, restaurants, and family can be a huge challenge.
Yeah, I remember a lot of holidays where it just wasn't present.
Aaron Emerson and Alina Bierwagen both work at Pinnacle Recovery Services in Lansing. Both are in recovery and trying to make the holidays easier because they know how tough they can be.
My grandfather, when I was in my active addiction, he used to always hide his wallet.
Which is far too common for people who are using. But once in recovery, Alina faced a different fate.
And I remember one of the very first times that I had came back home again for Christmas, and he left it. He left it on the, they had like a china cabinet, and he left it there. And there were no words spoken. Nobody talked about it. I didn't say, oh, look, it's up there.
It was a bright spot in a string of darkness. In Lansing, Bobby Cushing, Focal Point News.
Thank you, Bobby. Both Lifeboat Recovery and Pinnacle Recovery in Lansing are wonderful services to help those who need it.
Students are gearing up for the holidays with one last hurrah over at the Union. Focal Point News' Jordan Wilcox caught all the action at the Holiday Bash.
Before finals, when all through the Union, not a student was worrying or lost in confusion. The University Activities Board partnered with different cultural organizations
We're here celebrating Hanukkah
to bring a little holiday cheer to campus before exams.
No matter sort of, your background, no matter your culture, ethnicity, or race, you're able to find something to do here, and also learn. I think that's the biggest part we need here. Is college is a great place to be able to expose yourself to just different holidays and different cultures and traditions.
With the goal to celebrate different cultures, the Holiday Bash, hosted by the UAB, featured a range of activities from caricature drawings and games to photo booths and holiday desserts.
This is a really essential way for students to find friends, to find community on campus, to find people like them, and just have a good time, get the college experience, but in a good way.
Amidst all of the feasting, fun, and banter, Sparty arrived to turn things up a notch. Students got in line to take photos with the mascot, in between their bites, of course. While Rudolph couldn't make it, Zeke the Wonder Dog called in for duty to put a smile on students' faces and welcome the man of the hour, Santa Claus, who had a special message for Spartans.
Go green! Go white! Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Jordan Wilcox reporting, Focal Point News.
Yeah, I think after that, Santa Claus is contemplating changing his colors from red and white to green and white, but we may have to wait until next year to find out if Mrs. Claus will let him.
Eaton Community Palliative Care is a place for terminally ill people to get compassionate physical care to keep them as comfortable as possible. What's going on in the care home is amazing, but I had the chance to visit a special part of the property where the holiday spirit of giving is in full swing. They do things differently at Eaton County Palliative Care. And you just have to go downstairs to see it.
Have a great day and come see us again.
Down there, you'll find a thrift shop. And volunteers say they never have to worry about having customers.
You have people that you're going to see. They have their specific days, their specific times.
People like Barb, who come often to see all the shop has to offer. Jewelry,
jeans, messages of motivation, or a laugh.
And we resell, and all of the resources that we gain from reselling go to help offset the cost of care and running the houses.
So the proceeds made in this underground thrift store go towards the care of the patients upstairs. But volunteers tell me the community gets something out of it too.
Our prices are reasonable and feel like we can help people out, especially now this time when things are so expensive or people don't have jobs.
Good deals and a good cause.
Pretty much anything anybody needs.
Two things that keep volunteers like Tina coming back.
I don't know, 10 years maybe? I'm not even sure.
And for many of the thrift shop workers, it's personal.
And so all of us, even our volunteers, have either had a loved one here, had some kind of experience with hospice.
Angel's dad was a patient here in 2008. Now she's one of the directors.
Since then, I've been involved with the organization. I think for a lot of people, it's either a personal connection, kind of like what I have, or it is just wanting to give back to the community in some way, shape, or form.
And sometimes the giving comes from just up the stairs.
They almost always, if the person does not make it, donate their things as a give back because they were so well taken care of upstairs.
In Charlotte, Karina Prieto, Focal Point News.
I had such a nice time at the shop today, and I will definitely have to head back to grab a few things. If you're looking to donate to the thrift shop, you can drop off items during regular store hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Winter at Michigan State University brings snow and cold weather, but the MSU horticulture gardens don't close down because of this. Focal Point's Rachel Fulton went to the greenhouses to show us how they're getting into the holiday season and what's going on this time of year.
Winter in Michigan. Not too many plants growing in 10-degree wind chill. A time for hibernation and winterization. But not here.
These are the teaching greenhouses.
The greenhouse is on MSU's campus, where inside everything is, well, green and red and pink.
So this is our poinsettia tree. There's 350 poinsettias.
Dan Bulkowski manages the greenhouses and their mission in the winter months, selling poinsettias. Every year, Dan and his students sell hundreds of poinsettias.
We receive rooted cuttings in July. They're about this big. Then the poinsettia, we pot that up. Then the poinsettia grows on. Then when it reaches a certain height, roots start coming through to the bottom of the pot. Then they're pinched.
Every holiday season, we see these beautiful potted plants that just put the perfect touch in any Christmas-themed home, which I always thought of as an entire flower. But really, the flower is just only this yellow spot in the middle around a bunch of leaves.
This is a bract, which is a modified leaf. So here's some poinsettias that were not pinched, and so it's just one solitary, large bloom. Where ones that were pinched, you get more, multiple blooms.
This is a culmination of months of planting, caring, and now selling the poinsettias. A splash of color in a brown winter. Rachel Fulton, Focal Point News.
Those flowers look beautiful. Poinsettias can be a great gift for the holidays, and luckily, MSU will continue their sales through next week up until Friday. Orders can be made at shopmsugardens.com.
Well, Ethan, it looks like the plants here at MSU are even feeling festive this time of year.
Yeah, and with the snow falling, I don't know how you can. Everybody in East Lansing's feeling a little bit festive with some snow on the ground.
Right, well, why don't we take it over to Kenzie Terpstra to see if the winter weather is expected to continue through finals week. Kenzie?
Winter definitely arrived here in East Lansing over the last week. The Midwest winter weather hit us hard with freezing temperatures and a little bit of snow, as you can tell from this campus view behind me. With the snow came my absolute least favorite winter activity, which is brushing the snow off of my car. Before we get further into our local weather, let's take a look at our national map to see what's going on around the country. The northeast part of the country is definitely experiencing that winter weather we were just talking about. Temperatures will be below freezing today in Portland, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. The Northwest is a little bit warmer. Salt Lake City will be around 42 degrees today, and Seattle should see a high of about 50 degrees. As we move south down the West Coast, we see temperatures slowly climb back into the 60s and 70s in the Sacramento Valley and Los Angeles areas. Looking a little bit closer to home, the Midwest is rocking high 20s and low 30s across the board, with the exception of Kansas City, right about 45 degrees. Charleston and Indianapolis saw a high of 33 today, and Pittsburgh wasn't far behind at 31. Green Bay had the lowest temperatures in the region today with a high of 27. Hopefully, the low temperatures did not add to the weight of yet another divisional loss to the Detroit Lions last night. Speaking of the Lions, Detroit saw a high of 31 today, while Grand Rapids on the west side of the state got to up about 29 degrees. We only saw a few hours of snowfall on Wednesday here in East Lansing, but in certain parts of the state, the snow has been accumulating for days. Thanks to a lake effect storm system, parts of the Upper Peninsula have reported over 8 inches of snow this week, and West Michigan wasn't far behind. Here's what you can expect from Mother Nature here in East Lansing over the next few days. Today was pretty chilly with a high of only 29 degrees. Thankfully, tomorrow we will get out of the below freezing range for the first time in about 2 weeks. Sunday will be partly cloudy. You can expect to see a bit of sunshine throughout the day before more gloomy weather rolls in. Break out your shorts. It's going to be a warm for a Monday in mid-December. With a high of 49, the higher temperatures will bring a bit of December rain with them. On Tuesday, temperatures drop back down into the 30s and will wrap up the week with some much-needed sunshine despite only being about 29 degrees. Here's a look at what you can expect hour by hour this evening. Currently, it's about 5:15 and the sun has already set for the day. We just saw Yusuf out in Grand Ledge for the Nightlights Christmas Parade, which starts tonight at 7 p.m. Right now, it's about 27 degrees and the temperature is going to stay the same throughout the night, and it'll be about that at the beginning of the parade. However, it's going to feel like it's more 12 or 13 degrees out there due to the wind chill. So if you're planning on catching the parade, I would definitely bundle up with your winter essentials: a warm coat, hats, gloves, the whole 9 yards. As the evening goes on, temperatures will remain around 27 degrees and that wind chill isn't going anywhere either. As of right now, we aren't expecting any additional snow in the near future, so feel free to put your shovels and boots off to the side, but keep them handy. There will definitely be more snow by the time spring rolls around. Karina and Ethan, back to you at the desk.
And I'm looking forward to that more snow. I love the snow, although it was a little slippery on the drive-in this morning.
It sure was. And let me tell you, Ethan, growing up in California did not prepare me well for this, even though I've been in Michigan for 4 years.
Yeah, and we'll be right back with some renovations to a popular spot on campus.
A tough time for those out at the stables.
And the latest with Michigan State sports and organizations taking a stand after the break.
The Big Ten so big? For starters, it's 18 of the country's most iconic universities. It's Defend the Rock, Jump Around, and the biggest bass drum on earth big. It's a stadium so big.
Name it the Big House.
Go Blue. It's Dottie the I big.
Let's go Bucks.
It's all-time leading scorer big. And now that USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington have joined the party, it's feeling real big. Right, Matt?
I'm ready. Fight on. Boys up. Baby.
Let's get it. Go Dogs.
Nah, it's all about the O.
The Big Ten Network. This is big.
Welcome back to Focal Point News.
We have more holiday events and stories, but first, a story of love and devotion.
Focal Point's Campbell Berg takes us to the Horse Teaching and Research Center on campus. It's a tough time for them and their community.
For 12 years, Weiser the draft horse called this place home.
He's probably had the largest emotional impact on the most amount of students.
He's family as far as Kara Robison is concerned.
Arriving in 2012 with his teammate Dale, Weiser became a crucial part of the club driving and draft horse programs at MSU.
Weiser's partner Dale died a few years after coming to Michigan State's program. And now, all that time together with the students and with Kara is coming to an end. Weiser is losing his battle to lymphoma.
Even though he's not yours, and it's just one that you work with or that you've worked with a lot, has kind of a similar emotional response as if you had lost like a family pet.
From 1907 to 1963, draft horses on campus were common.
And then in 1999, one of our faculty emeritus, Dr. Russ Erickson, was able to bring the draft horses back to campus.
The driving club and animal science department courses have continued to thrive. Losing Weiser feels like losing family. The team plans on ending Weiser's pain after winter break. He'll be remembered here always. In East Lansing, Campbellburg, Focal Point News.
Kara Robinson added that the animal science program will start a horse concentration this summer, and she's looking for a new team of horses through donation. You can find her information on the Animal Science Department website.
Earlier last month, Michigan State University's Black Student Alliance launched a campaign to raise awareness about racism, harassment, and discrimination on campus. Focal Point's Jaden Hawkins spoke to student leaders involved in the movement.
Hate has no home here. At least that's been the goal at Michigan State. They even partnered with the Black Student Alliance in this social marketing campaign. But since its launch in 2019, the Black student body doesn't feel like it's working.
That there's people within the same, area and spaces that, I share that have these feelings towards Black people. So it makes me kind of feel a little unsafe and uncertain.
So BSA's Co-Political Affairs Director, Marcelo Chola, says the organization started a new campaign called Hate Has a Home Here, which they say is in response to the continuous harassment, retaliation, racial discrimination, and hatred towards the Black community.
Racial incidents on our campus have been increasing, and it is quite terrifying and it's quite disheartening. So we needed to inform our community of the frustrations we were feeling as a board as well, of the treatment that Black students have been receiving.
Part of the campaign is to bring attention to what some students are faced with on a daily basis. They're doing it with quotes from students and posting it on an Instagram thread like this one. I was walking between Betsy and Kedzie Hall when a car pulled up and called me the N-word. And this one, my friends were walking down Grand River when a white student yelled the N-word at us completely unprovoked. BSA meets with administration once a month to address these issues, but they often leave the meetings feeling defeated and unheard.
Our Black students have to wake up every morning, and when they go to use the bathroom, they see the N-word on the mirror when they're brushing their teeth or something like that. We don't hear about that.
Chola says they aren't asking for the names of the people committing these acts. They just want transparency.
We are just asking for the president to go up to us, or at least say in his Spartan community letter, hey, in response to this racial incident, we want you guys to know that that student has been suspended or that student has been put on probation.
We're looking for accountability. We're looking to stand together in numbers to fight against the hate that clearly seems to have a home here at MSU.
On the Michigan State campus, Jaden Hawkins, Focal Point News.
If you or a student you know has faced racial discrimination on campus, you can go to BSA's Instagram bio and fill out the Hate Has a Home Here Google form to bring it to BSA's attention anonymously.
Between campus organizations fighting for change and the community prepping for the holidays, there's a lot going on here in Lansing. Let's take a look.
Tonight at Graywall Hall, you can enjoy a fun and energy-filled holiday concert with 7 bands, including local headliner Heartsick. You'll see some MSU alumni performing, and the doors will open at 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, and if you're looking to experience some holiday joy, Potter Park Zoo's Wonderland of Lights is open tonight through Sunday from 5 to 8 p.m. This event is great for anyone who enjoys holiday light shows and those cute animals.
And have you still not gotten your holiday shopping done? The MSU Union is hosting their 61st Winter Arts and Crafts Show this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Focal Point's Delaney Rogers has an inside look at the preparation coming up.
Inch in between.
If you listen closely outside of the MSU Union, you can hear it. Inside, volunteers tape and plot and tape and plan. The beginning stages of what will be the 61st East Lansing Winter Arts and Crafts Show.
They start planning for this at least a year in advance.
From the first floor to the 4th floor, nearly all the spaces inside the Union will be filled with art.
During the holiday season, my aunts and my grandmother would bring me here, and I just remember like the cinnamon smell of pine cones and hot chocolate.
And Kat Cooper wouldn't miss the chance to help set up. The fair holds special memories for her. And years later, she gets to set up the space that brought her so many warm memories.
It was one of my favorite holiday memories as a kid.
That's why today, measuring down to the inch is important.
A lot of the vendors that come into our show need their space that they paid for, and it's very specific. So we spend a lot of time being really intentional, mapping out where they're supposed to go and where they can't go, just so everyone has an equal.
And comes at the perfect time for the holiday.
Popular event for the community, and a lot of people wait and do their holiday shopping here. And I can't think of a Christmas in the past 17 years that I haven't given a gift from this event.
In East Lansing, Delaney Rogers, Focal Point News.
The art fair begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. and closes at 5 p.m. Sunday, the fair will be open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I know I will be sure to stop by and finalize my Christmas shopping. I haven't even started yet.
Earlier this year, the MSU Board of Trustees approved a renovation project on the MSU Museum. Though it won't be open until a year from now, Focal Point's Nora Fleming spoke to museum officials who are utilizing a new place for its exhibits.
Welders, and warning signs. That's what's currently on display at the MSU Museum.
It's the beginning of what we hope will be a more extensive process of renovation.
It's been a long time coming, from the basement to the is in the middle of a complete renovation.
So actually we had been working for 2 years to get the board to review our proposal.
And creative director of the innovation unit, Mark Sullivan, is excited for what's to come.
It's not really just a process of renovation, it's also a process of re-envisioning.
But the museum needed a space to use during the 18-month renovation.
Usually students come to MSU FCU to deposit some cash. But there's actually a multi-million-dollar art piece here, too.
MSU FCU partnered with the museum so that it could continue to hold exhibitions.
They've been phenomenally supportive, even before we got to the renovation.
So the museum has taken over the 6th floor to present this exhibit called Momentum.
So right now, the artist for the MSU FCU Power Up residency is Abel Korinsky.
Korinsky worked with the MSU Facility for Rare Isotope Beams to create this piece that combines astrophysics with the creation of humans.
Part of the goal of this residency is to produce a residency that reaches across colleges.
It's an 18-month renovation for this building, and until then, it's this building where visitors can see exhibits like this. In East Lansing, Nora Fleming, Focal Point News.
The Momentum exhibit will be open until December 14th. After that, a new exhibition will be installed. For more information on events at the new location, go to museum.msu.edu.
Now, and even with all those changes in construction happening on campus, Michigan State athletes will always provide you constant action.
Right, well, let's head over to Focal Point's Campbell Berg in the newsroom for the latest on our Spartan sports. Campbell?
Thanks, Karina and Ethan. Even though the semester is winding down, winter sports are picking up. Last Saturday, the football season came to a close. After a 41-14 loss to Rutgers, the Michigan State football team season record is 5-7. The Spartans did not make the cut to be bowl eligible since they fell short of the 6-win mark. Both Ryan Eckley and Jonathan Kim were awarded second-team coaches, while Kim also got second-team media and Eckley won third-team media. The men's basketball team took on the Golden Gophers in Minnesota on Wednesday, winning 90-72. Forward Jackson Kohler scored 11 points, getting his third double-double of the season. Forward Cohen Carr had 12 points to lead the Spartans. They are now 6-2 and 1-0 in the Big Ten. Their next game is the Izzone Holiday game tomorrow against Nebraska. With hockey season in full swing, the NCAA ranks have been shifting into place. MSU hockey is #1 with a record of 11-1-0. This weekend, the Spartans welcomed the Lindenwood Lions here at Munn Ice Arena for their last home series of 2024. They swept the series, winning 4-0 in Game 1 and 2-0 in Game 2. That's all I have for you guys. Karina and Ethan, back to you in the studio.
Before we close out tonight, the story of a restaurant. But this is no chain burger joint. Weston's Kewpies has been a Lansing staple for 101 years. And today, I got to peek behind the counter into a family's life work and their heart and soul. We hear about small businesses opening and closing across America every day.
So probably the best olive burger we've ever had. Ever. And the folks here are great. I mean, they're like family.
But in this Midwestern capital city, tradition and family have kept this one open for a century.
Like my mother used to say, it's taken us 100 years to be an overnight success.
Gary Weston has sat in this booth for a lot of them.
I started working when I was 9. I have to do 200 pounds of peeled potatoes Saturday morning, and then dice them so we can use them as French fries.
It was Gary's grandmother that opened their first Kewpie's restaurant in 1923. He passed the restaurant to his daughter in 2009, but you can still find him in the booth by the register or even answering the phone every day.
This booth right here, this is like a portal. There's a lot of good people here, so every time you need some positive energy, you just plug it in and boom, you got it.
So much history, and his daughter Autumn is still making it today.
That's my favorite time ever, and I've never expected it.
5 years ago, she took the Olive Burger National to a Food Network competition. They took home the top prize.
They announced that we had won Judge's Choice. I was coming to the front, and Rachel Ray looked at me, and she was like, she remembered the sauce, and she remembered the story. She was like, "You're the 98-year-old sauce," and I'm like, "Yes."
Burger may be award-winning, but it's the story that comes along with it. It's today, when Autumn's nephew brought his class of graduating firefighters to celebrate.
It's delicious.
It's the basket of readers next to the menus. It's the feeling you get when you walk in.
Warmth, happiness, family.
It's a story, it's a flavor, it's an experience. It's everything.
In Lansing, Ethan Hunter, Focal Point News.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
It's one of those places you just have to experience for yourself. Chances are you're not going to miss them if you haven't been there yet, since they've been here around for 101 years.
Well, it sounds like I will have to stop by. Thanks, Ethan. And we're out of time for today and this year. This is our last program of 2024. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Focal Point News. I'm Karina Prieto.
And I'm Ethan Hunter. Happy holidays, travel safe, and we will see you in 2025.